Behind the Songs with Jordan from Neil Francis. Today I'm breaking down Teardrops, one of our very first songs we put out. Obviously, it's a cover of the classic 80s dance jam by Marc and I. I love the song. Teardrops was one of my favorite songs. Truth be told, I actually pitched the idea of covering this song to Marc as a Valentine's Day gift to my then girlfriend. And we did this back in 2016. It's kind of crazy opening this project. I don't think I've opened it since like 8 years. And yeah, what's funny is I guess like back then, before Neil Francis and before this, I'd never really produced live elements or recorded live elements as much as what I obviously do now with the band. So simply just recording a vocalist was foreign to me, and working with Marc and recording vocals was a learning process. I remember the first time I recorded a vocal for this project, and it was like one track of vocals, and I'm like, oh, it sounds kind of thin, like how do you get a full vocal sound? It's like kind of stupid. But then I just recorded more of him doing the same, and then I realized that's what everyone does, is you like layer vocals. All that is to say that this period was a learning curve for me as a producer, and I'm gonna have a laugh going through this project because I think I probably overproduced things compared to what I did back then, but we'll see. Okay, so let's start with the drums for this track. What do we got here? Looks like we got some MIDI drum triggered samples that are probably from a Linn drum by the sound of it. Kick and snare. That sounds like Marc playing our drum kit back then. Pretty like raucous sound. We never recorded stuff with close mics. We would just like put a mic in the room and just record the sound of the room, and then I would program electronic drums to be the equivalent of the close mic stuff. So when you've got this mixed with the live drum room mic, you get the punch up front and then the ambience of the room. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear that bass, but that's insane. Anyway, it all mixed together into this. It's a pretty good drum sound, I gotta be honest. Just the drums of the track, they don't really change. They're kind of knocky like that the whole way. There's some fills and stuff where I've just overdubbed Marc doing stuff by the look of it. Very simple stuff, nothing too crazy here. I mean, honestly, the underlying song is so good, the lyrics so great, and the music is fantastic that you don't have to do that much to it. Marc wrote a great bass line. At the end, obviously, into the other lyric. We've got some piano chords. It's labeled real piano, which it definitely isn't, but let's see. Where the fuck would we have got a real piano from? It does sound real. You can hear it come off you hear that? Yeah. The like hands come off the keys. I have no idea where we would have recorded that at all. Oh, no. We actually had a piano in our studio back then. Shit, yeah. We had a friend of ours. We used to share a studio space downtown, and he had a real piano in there. So it sounds like, obviously, it's a mixture of obviously those chords, and then I think Marc also had like a keyboard with a piano preset on it. And I just mix those together. On the keyboard one, it sounds like there's delay, but it doesn't look like there's any on the channel. This is hilarious to me. There's definitely a delay on that. And the mix together. it's actually kind of cool when you hear the fingers come off the keys. It gives it this unique character. Great chords, great chords. Also, I really love the ones at the end. Yeah, granted I did this 8 years ago, but I kind of approach vocal recording the same now as I did back then, where I was kind of learning in real time. I guess track 1, if you just want to hear a comparison between them all.
Whenever I hear goodbyes.
So that's obviously got a ton of reverb on it. And then the split left and right to double and make the vocal fuller is a little drier.
Whenever I hear goodbyes.
Yeah, very dry.
Whenever I hear goodbyes.
But then all together with that big affected one, it sounds pretty fantastic.
Whenever I hear goodbyes, remind me, baby, of you. I break down and cry.
The last part, same thing I want to say. Yep, same effects, same split, same approach.
And the music don't feel like it did when I felt it with you.
I mean, it comes back to saying what I said in the other video that we did, like, I gotta give it up. Marcus has got a great voice, and he makes my job really easy. Artistically, we've never really messed with auto-tune in any way, but he's got such a fantastic voice and he's such a great singer that I don't have to worry about auto-tune or anything like that. That being said, there are times when I'll go in and like micro-edit his vocals on certain important parts of the vocal and make sure that it's in tune and sounds as good as it can. So that's the vocals, and then last but not least is the guitar part, which I remember Mark saying when he was first learning how to play the song, it was very hard for him to play and sing the little riff at the end.
Next time I'll be true.
To hit that little like and then also hit the vocal, he took some practice. Wow, it's crazy. No EQ on any of the guitar, like a huge amount of reverb. There's got to be a bus. Yeah, there's a bus here. For all you music nerds out there, I'm sure you guys already know about it, but Decapitator is fantastic for guitars. Crystallizer for a little bit of sheen. Some sidechain compression, interesting. Again, this would have been the first time I probably recorded guitars through an amp or recorded in an amp. And then the last element in the song are these beautiful strings at the end. Which was off a Williams keyboard Mark has. Sounds like there's like a phaser on it. Yeah. And then all together. Very few elements, and like there's definitely nothing tricky happening with the production or the mix of it. It's almost endearing how undercooked this session is. It's pretty cool looking back on it after all these years and how many times we've like rehearsed and performed this song in all its different like iterations. It's cool to see that no matter how far you go, I guess like things kind of remain the same. I still produce Mark's vocals more or less exactly the same way that I stumbled across here. I still produce guitars the same way. I always tend to err on the side of underproduction rather than overproduction. So this is cool. Neil Francis.